everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping by, I appreciate it. So today I'm going to be going over the 10 biggest challenges that I had as an apprentice and how I overcame them. This video was suggested by a user in the last video, so thank you for that. So the first challenge, in no particular order, there's going to be 10 of these. So I have 10 different things listed out. So in no particular order, the first one is, the first challenge that I had was not making mistakes at work. I worked for a really terrible company, and every time you messed up, they would chew you out like really bad. And I'll talk about that later. So, anyways, how I dealt with that was basically, I dealt with it as it came, and knowing no one is perfect and learning from my mistakes. Basically, I just took it one day at a time, and like I said, learn from my mistakes. Don't do the same thing twice, causing mistakes, and just basically having to know that you're going to make mistakes as an electrician, especially as an apprentice, as you're learning. But even still, a journeyman make mistakes all the time, and it's just part of the trade, and it's just something that you have to accept. And the sooner that you accept that, the better off you will be for that. Number two, working fast enough. So especially in the non-union, it always seemed like there was a super fast pace, like go, 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 go. Once again, I just did my best as I could. One thing that's really nice about the union is there is usually not as big of a push, so to get things done, and that gives workers the peace of mind, and it gives the workers less stress and gives you a clear mind to make decisions. So that's one thing that I do appreciate about the union, is that things are a little bit slower. People aren't stressing out and breathing down your neck. You have the ability to breathe and just do your work normally at a good pace. Number three, I did want to quit when I was apprentice in my third year, but the one thing that kept me going was knowing that I had to finish. I didn't want to quit halfway and just waste a whole bunch of time. I wanted to be able to finish and say, if I ever want to go back and do this, that I can. I just don't want to quit and then have to start all over if I ever wanted to do it again. But just wanted to finish and know that I could come back to it any time that I wanted to once I got my license. Number four, one thing that I did have a challenge with was studying and doing my homework. For this, you just have to apply yourself and sit down and do it. I always did my homework in one sitting. I think most people probably did their homework a little bit each night, so it's not such a burden, but I always procrastinated and did my homework all in one sitting, which usually took several hours, but usually wasn't as big of a deal as I made it. Anyways, number five, the test finals in some of my classes were pretty hard, just because sometimes my whole grade depended on it. Like I was like at a B or something, a B or a C in the class, and basically if I failed the test, if I did really bad, it pretty much put me at like a D or a C minus or whatever it was to fail the class. So basically I just needed to do better throughout the year, but like I said, sometimes the finals were riding on the line of passing or failing the class, so that was one of the challenges, and to get through that, basically just praying and doing my best, and I never had a problem with that. Number six, the journeyman test. So studying for that and taking practice tests and taking the test until I passed. It took me three times in Oregon, and I passed the Washington on my first try, and the NEC, not the NEC, the WAC took me 2 tries because I missed that by 1 point. So basically how I overcame that was using my Tom Henry's keyword index, studying the books that my teacher gave us, that my teachers made from school, and just practicing doing code exams, and then just taking the test until I passed. That one you just kind of have to do until you get it. Number seven, some people may have financial struggles as they have to take a pay cut to become an electrician. I didn't have this issue because I was a loser, smart, but I lived at home with my parents until I was 29, so that really helped out. But the idea is to save up enough money in reserves at whatever job that you're doing now, until you can save up the difference for the bills for your bills as you switch to an electrician. So just say you're going to be taking a pay cut, you're going to need $10,000 and you have $7,000, so you're gonna have to save up that extra $3,000 to be able to cover your bills until you get a re-rate or whatever, until your wages get higher. So basically just save up the difference, and I think you should be all right on that one. Number 8, keeping a positive attitude. For me, sometimes this was really hard, but honestly, just keeping my mouth shut and taking the BS when it came. I would always call my friend after work, and vent to him and just tell him throughout my day. My best friend at the time, Mark Brown. Rest his soul, miss him every day. Other ways that I would overcome this would be to just enjoy my life outside of work, and knowing that I would not be at the terrible company that I was working at forever, and just doing my time there as an apprentice and then leaving as soon as I got my journeyman card, which is exactly what I did. Number 9, having enough energy. As someone who doesn't drink coffee, it's definitely important to go to bed at a good time. When I was younger, in my 20s, right when I was in the apprenticeship, 22 to 25, it was pretty easy to stay up till 11 p.m., sometimes 3 a.m., and then be fine the next day. But definitely as I get older, I definitely need my sleep. Definitely as I work earlier now, I think it's a good idea definitely to get your sleep so you're not like drowsy kind of at work. But definitely know your limits of how much sleep that you need, and try to stick to that as best as possible to be able to be functioning as best as possible at work. So now I definitely go to bed around like 10 or 11 at the latest. And then lastly, vocalizing your thoughts and opinions. So as a quiet person, sometimes I feel like people have pushed me around just because they know that I'm not going to say much, or I'm just going to take the BS. So sometimes people will push you around, but it's definitely important to stand up for yourself and talk to people when you needed to. Another example is also not just taking BS from other people, but also talking to management when you need to. An example is talking about how they run their company for things like scheduling and company perks. I know I've had some problems in that area before, like when I was in the non-union, a lot of times you didn't know if you were working the next day, where you were going. Sometimes you didn't know until that morning at 4 a.m. whether you were working, where you were going. So it's definitely good to communicate, to know where you're going, what's going on, what you're doing, and then other things like driving a van home or anything like that. So other than that, basically say what needs to be said, and in a kind manner. And if people can't respect you, definitely walk away. I put up with a lot of BS at the worst company that I worked at for like 3 years, just because, like I said, I was trying to go through my apprenticeship. But if you're in any horrible situations, you definitely walk away. It's really easy in the non-union to walk away and get a new job, but definitely in the union, you are kind of stuck to one company. You just can't get up and leave and really switch to another. I think you could probably ask for a switch or something from the hall or something. That's something I'm not really sure about because I was never in that situation. But definitely don't put up with anything. Talk and communicate and get things situated. And that's basically the 10 challenges and how I overcame them. So hopefully you can take something from this and learn from my mistakes or things that I've struggled with. Hopefully this can help you out. In the end, everything worked out by never giving up and never backing down. See you guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. God bless. Have an awesome rest of your day. Love you guys. Peace.